This clip comes from our longer podcast interview with Blair, Staky, SEO expert. So if you like it, consider listening to the full episode and subscribing to the Art Coaching Club podcasts anywhere you listen to podcasts. Yeah, when it comes to the keywords themselves, we talked a little bit about how they rank, but how do you recommend people find them? I mean, I know there's some websites and
Yeah,
stuff out there, but what are the resources to find them? And then how do you know if it's good or not?
good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's tons of different websites out there. Like if you search keyword research tool, you're going to get a ton of feedback because guess what? They're all really good at SEO. So the one I personally like is Uber Suggest. I've used SEMrush in the past, which is also a really great tool. It's just a lot more expensive. So I find that for small business owners, it's just like, I'm not paying $99 a month for this. And Uber Suggest, I think, is like 39 maybe. I don't know. It's affordable, I think. For all the information you get and does the tracking and you can get updates on keywords and stuff. So that's my favorite tool. And then when you're searching for keywords, I typically tell people this is always kind of like people are like, wait, don't we want like more people to be searching for it? And it's like, yes, that's good, but it also can really mean that like there's so much competition for that keyword that you ranking for it is like probably not going to happen unless you're like some massive company. I say you want searches between around like 1,000 to 5,000, I think are good. I mean, I've even used keywords that are like up to 10,000 or 20,000, but just the chances of me ranking for them are probably less likely.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And it's kind of like hashtags on Instagram, which I don't even know if people
Yeah,
really use hashtags as much anymore, but it's like you're not gonna really show up if it's a million people looking at it
right.
all.
I am always looking for hashtags with like less than like, I don't know. I don't really look that hard, but like I'm not going to sign up for the ones like 1 billion, people have used this or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to show up in that one. So
Yeah.
no, it's the exact same thing. Like putting yourself in like a smaller pond makes it easier for people to find you.
When it comes to the keyword itself, like obviously some
Mhm.
are keywords can be chained, so it can be like four
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
So
Like
for
you phrase. Yeah.
example, let's say it's like landscape painter, landscape acrylic painter. So it's like a couple
Yeah.
words. When you're using that in a blog post, do you have to use those exact words in that exact order to rank or not?
So a lot of times when you do keyword research, if you search something like that, you'll see kind of different variations of that. I try to use like the exact one, and maybe also another couple variations of it, just because it gives more context. And obviously, I'm
Right.
forgetting like the term for it, but it's basically like a semantic thing. Like obviously, people say things differently, so
Mhm.
Google takes that into consideration. So I'm not sure if you don't use exactly what it says, like you're not going to rank, but I'm not sure how much difference there can be. So I typically do try to use it pretty specifically to the keyword. And I had worked with an SEO company back when I was blogging, and they were like, would send me like, these are the keywords you need to use. And some of them were like kind of awkward to use, right? Like
Yeah.
you're like, it makes sense for a search, but it doesn't make sense for me to type it into a paragraph this way. So
Mhm.
finding like the ones that make more sense obviously help because then when people are reading the content, it doesn't sound weird.
Right. Well, that's the key too. I mean, I've definitely tried
Mhm.
to implement some into blog posts, and I'm like, this just isn't going to work because it sounds like a robot wrote it. It just
Yeah, and
doesn't
sometimes they just
sound,
don't, right?
and it's like, if I don't rank for this one, that's fine. But like, it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, clearly, like obviously, when people search those things and that are awkward to write in a paragraph, like things come up, and
Right.
so it is going to pull things that are like close to that. So I think it probably would. I just don't know like how close to the top it, like I don't know how specific Google gets in with that stuff.
Yeah.